The GenderLab is part of Collaboratio Helvetica's social labs, and the idea is to bring together a group of diverse people on a 9-month journey to explore the question, how can we, as individuals and organizations committed to transforming society, fully practice and embody gender equality? So why are we doing the GenderLab? In Switzerland, we've been on a journey of closing the gender gap, but we still have some challenges when it comes to giving men and women the same opportunities in the workplace and beyond. And more importantly, Switzerland is a country where there are still very traditional norms and expectations around the roles of men and women. And these can be limiting, particularly for the aspirations of the younger generations.
With that theory U, the impact is that you get much more self-awareness about yourself. You discover your own needs, your own fears, your own thoughts that you have with certain topics. And based on that, you can then have a much more open look to what the problems are that we want to solve. And through the GenderLab, you get a new approach how to look at gender equality topics.
So we applied the Theory U transformative process to gender equality. And that means that over a period of 4 retreats, we invited the participants to go on a deep process of inquiry of how we can achieve systemic change around this question of gender equality in Switzerland. And along the Theory U, we invited participants to really go very deep in terms of how they observe the system and become acutely aware of all the details of the challenges and finding new solutions to transform the reality that we live in. In this process, the participants have acquired a very deep understanding of gender equality, and most importantly, they've acquired tools around listening and around dialogue that make it possible to embrace different perspectives and have conversations that would not have been possible before.
Mir gefällt jetzt insbesondere auch die Phase, wo wir jetzt an den Prototypen arbeiten, dass wir sehr konkret wirklich probieren, zusammen Lösungen zu entwickeln.
Pour moi, le sujet qui m'intéresse spécifiquement dans le GenderLab, ça va être le rapport aux enfants, à la génération future. Parce que je pense que ce qui est important, c'est de ne pas reproduire les mêmes erreurs, les mêmes patterns. Et qu'est-ce qu'on fait pour leur donner les outils pour mieux percevoir ce qu'est le genre et cette construction-là, et leur donner le plus de liberté possible dans leur future construction sociale.
As we know, there's still a long way to go in Switzerland until we fully achieve gender equality. When we started co-creating Collaboratio Helvetica with other young innovative organizations that are really committed to walking the talk on their values, we realized that even then it was extremely difficult to fully achieve a culture that was gender equal within these organizations. When addressing the most challenging issues of our time, we often realize that it cannot be done by just one sector in isolation. Typically, when we interview stakeholders around an issue that is systemic in essence, we hear that everybody feels stuck in their own positions, and what's needed is to collaborate in order to design solutions together. This is why in the GenderLab we invite stakeholders from all over the system to come together and co-create.
Probleme im Umweltbereich, Probleme im sozialen Bereich, wirklich überall sind es extrem komplexe Probleme, die weder der Staat noch die Wirtschaft noch NGOs allein lösen können. Es braucht von diesen allen Teilnehmern am System braucht es Leute, die zusammen neue Lösungsansätze machen.
How can we enlighten other people without forcing them to do something? So for me, what is really important here is figuring out a process how we can display role models to the world of people not only being in black and white and male and female, but the full colorful spectrum.
Our project has to do with small actions that invite the public to consider their own viewpoints and question them. And we want to do it in a very playful way. We think we need to change the conversation, invite the curiosity of others.
One group decided to develop a prototype around how to open spaces for dialogues in organization. Another example is looking at how we can change the stereotypes that we're all bathed in from early childhood. And so the second group is using storytelling to challenge traditional gender norms.
As our intention at Collaboratio Helvetica is to create ecosystem collaboration, we are keen to build on what has already been done. We consider this work to be a journey, and to deepen our impact, we will continue to address the topic of gender in future social laboratories. Therefore, if you would like to collaborate or take part, do not hesitate to reach out. We would love to be in touch.